We are continuing on Shar HaBitachon, Shar Chovot HaLevavot, and we spoke about the second paragraph here of a person that trusts his own, wherewithal. Kochot, I'm smart, I'm capable. We spoke about examples of how a person could lose their things. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, okay, if you think you could do it on your own, I'm going to pull back. So explains Rabbi Chaye that that's how the system of HaKadosh Baruch Hu works. The more you lean on him, the stronger the support becomes. The more you think that he governs the world and your life, the more he will govern and show you in details of prate pratim how everything is hashgacha in your life. And the more you think that you're doing it, the more he leaves. And he leaves you to your own vessels. So okay, you think you're good on your own? Be on your own. Do it. Let's see how you do. We spoke about even the most intimate powers that a person has. It's part of you. Your memory, your mindset, your intellectual capacity could be 1 second there, 1 second not there. Right? Spoke, within our family, something that happened. We spoke about it last time. This is not just Rabbi Yaakov Joseph, the first and only chief rabbi of New York City, right? We were the youngest students of Rabbi Salanter, came to New York. He was a photographic memory he had. He was like a walking Sefer Torah. Walking Sefer Torah. He would give Shabbat Shuvah Drasha for hours. He would sit up there without notes, without nothing. And he would speak for hours, like speaking hundreds of Marei Mekomot, chapter and verse. He was a legend of a Talmid Chacham. A legend of a Talmid Chacham. And one year, he gets up there to give a Shabbat Shuvah Drasha. And he says, Zok the Gemara. The Gemara says, and he's completely blank. He says, Zok the Gemara. Again. Can't remember a thing. He lost his memory. And he started crying. He said, I can't remember. Someone that was present at that Shabbat Shuvah Drasha said this was by far the greatest, most effective and powerful Shabbat Shuvah Drasha that he ever heard in his life. Because he realized nothing is the station. Nothing, you're guaranteed nothing. Not guaranteed life, you're not guaranteed the parnasa. Even things that you think, the closest thing to my memory. This guy for decades and decades was the legend of the world. Of knowing thousands, literally thousands of Sfarim by heart, word for word. And he gets up there and it's complete blank. It's taken away from him. That's what a person, again, we're commenting on this. A person, we're talking about Gdolei Ha'olam. We're talking about conceptually. You have such a thing. And that's if you trust on your chokhmah. And if you are reliant on your power and wealth, Nisar mimenu v'yishayar lezurato. Now, Kadosh Baruch Hu says, okay, I gave this to you for a reason. Now you're becoming haughty about it. You think you're good on your own. You could feel how it feels to lose it. Chas v'shalom. Like now, in a good way. One of the people who this happened to was Rabbi Moshe Reichman. Moshe Reichman was one of the greatest philanthropists, supporters of Torah all over the world. And then he lost it all. He told his son, he says, Hashem gave me the nisayon of osher. And now he's giving me the nisayon of not having the osher. Baruch Hashem, he got it back afterwards. But to have a perspective of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem morish ma'ashir, the power, the wealth, it's all from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That also, it's not because you're smart, you made this business deal and you knew how to do it. and the other guy didn't. Yeah, you may be smart, but even that comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And how many smart people do we know that they do a lot of dumb things, and they make foolish decisions, and then they lo lekalim meroz, lo giborim milchama. Shlomo says, I saw so many people, rich people, right? Lo chachamim lechem. They're very smart, but they don't have a bread to put on their table. They're geniuses, smart people. You could go and get business advice from them, and they won't miss a prat, a detail, to advise properly but they themselves can't make it. It's not how it works. Behind it all, obviously, you have to do your obviously, a person has to do what is on, mutal aleihim, that is upon them to do in order to basically be in sync with the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants the Bria to run. We are post the sin of Adam HaRishon, and b'zeat apechat tochalechem. The gezerah was you have to work. And part of that is you have to think, you have to be smart, you have to get advice from people who are smart and experienced. You have to do all those due diligence. But at the end of the day, even if you're very sharp and very smart and you're getting the proper advice and all of that, and you're killing it, you're successful, you have to realize, Al kol motza pi Hashem yichya adam. And says the Chovot HaLevavot, if you think it's you, then chas v'shalom, Hashem at some point may just take it away and say, look, let me see how you do on your own without the help. This is Eov talking, Perek Chaf Zayin, Ashir yishkav v'lo yasef enav, pakach ve'enenu. A person could go to sleep rich, and you open your eyes and there's nothing there. Isn't that the story of Eov's life? Now, the Gemara, for full disclosure, the Gemara in the beginning of Masechet Bava Batra discusses the story of the validity of story of Eov as a historical fact. Is it actually someone that lived, or is it a myth? Is it someone that lived in the time of Moshe Rabbeinu? Not clear, but certainly is one of the greatest pieces of philosophical discussions for some more than 37 chapters of amazing work. I mean, the first and last pieces are more understandable and easiest like a story, but the basic story, the first parak, is Eov had everything. He was the richest man alive. He had the most beautiful family, the most beautiful daughters and sons, amazing family. Envious, tremendous. And he was a tzaddik. He was bringing korbanot for his kids. Chas v'shalom, maybe they had a bad thought. And all of a sudden, for whatever reason, one day he was great on top of the world, and the next he was the lowest of the low. He lost everything. Obviously, again, as the story has it, when he passed this nisayon, he was given not just what he had before, but much more than that. But this is the story that he himself says. He says, Ashir, a person could go to sleep, yishkav, velo yasef, enav pakach ve'enenu. Shlomo Melech, the wisest man, says in Mishlei, Chav Gimel Dalit, Al tigala ashir. Says, don't work too hard to become rich. Mi binatecha chadol. Stop relying on your understanding, on your brains. Again, this not for a second means that a person should not do what they should be doing. Derech hateva. The regular person should be derech hateva, like the Gemara says. In many places, the Gemara says in Masechet Brachot, the Daf Lamed Bet Amud Bet, the Gemara says 4 things need chizuk every day. 4 things need constant and consistent strengthening. And one of them is derech, and one of them is working, living a proper life, earning a livelihood. And the Gemara later on there in the Lamed Hey Amud Bet says that famous machloket Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and Rabbi Ishmael. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says a person shouldn't be working, just trust on Hashem and learn Torah and do the mitzvot, and Hashem is going to support you. Rabbi Shimon says no, for the regular people, right? Limedat Torah derech eretz. Torah is teaching us how to conduct ourselves. That a person has the reshut of working, v'asafta deganecha, that you should be working, involved with your livelihood. And the Gemara says, Harbe asuk Rabbi Ishmael v'alta biyadam. The majority were successful when conducting themselves like Rabbi Ishmael, and not like Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. It's not for everyone, that teaching, right? It's not a matter of who's halacha like. It's a matter of if you're holding there. Yeah, if you're Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, it works. But for the rest of us, al tigala ha'ashir. You have to understand, you work and you do all of that. But mi benatecha chadol, you have to realize not my kochi ve'otzem yadi. Asali et ha'chayil hazeh. It's not my power, my brain power, my muscles that made me successful. So Amelech also says there, mamash in the next pasuk, Chav Gimel Hey, says Hata'if enecha bo ve'enenu. You blink and it's not there. You blink and it's not there, because it's not you. And because it's not you, you have no guarantee over it. There's no security. It could be gone in a blink of an eye, quite literally. Yirmiyah Navi says, "B'chatzi amav ya'azvenu u'ba'acharito yeh naval." A person, chas v'shalom, could work, gain. B'chatzi amav ya'azvenu. Midlife crisis, right? Could lose it all. The fact that you worked hard and gained more doesn't mean that's yours. Who knows if the end of it is going to be good? Or that you have it, you can't use it. Or the guys in Amud Yomi, as I'm not sure if it's a chiropractor, as someone that goes and helps people, elderly people, and he was telling me that he was going to this house that's $30-40 million house. The guy sitting there, he has 20 workers. And the house is a mansion. But he can't eat anything. He can't move. He's on a chair. He's there, sitting there watching his wealth being used by other people. Right? The fact, the osher, the real riches, is not even measured by your bank account. The real happiness and satisfaction in life we'll talk about. What is considered simcha? What is considered osher with an aleph? Of being meushar, being really fortunate, really happy and content in life. Kasher amar chacham, and again, Shlomo HaMelech in Kohelet makes sure to make this clear. Velo yashlitenu ha'elokim le'echol mimenu. So sometimes I see something crazy, and it's worse even. That I think he brings this later on. Shlomo HaMelech says, I saw ra'ah chola tachat hashamesh. Saw something crazy under the sun, and that is osher hashamur lebe'alav lera'ato. Sometimes it causes negativity for you, the wealth that you accumulate, if Hashem is not there. And sometimes, says Shlomo HaMelech in Kohelet Vav Bet, Lo yashlitenu ha'elohim le'echol mimenu. You don't have the governing power to your own wealth to eat from it and to benefit from it. Like this example that we just gave. The guy is there, he has everything. Can't eat it. He can't have any pleasure. sitting there in his house, other people benefiting from it. ויהיה אצלו פיקדון ששומר אותו מן הפגעים עד שישוב למי שהוא ראוי לו. It's a pikadon for a person. Sometimes, again, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is keeping it, right? For a tzaddik that's going to come later on, someone else is going to take it. He works and builds, and really he's building for other people. Until he goes back to someone that is befitting. Shlomo HaMelech again in Kohelet says, Kohelet is an amazing sefer. Because again, as we mentioned before, Kohelet was written in a mature period of Shlomo HaMelech's life, starting with Shir HaShirim, going to Mishlei, ending with Kohelet. He's a man that has been given the greatest gift of wisdom ever. Ever. There's a machloket whether or not Shlomo HaMelech was bigger than Moshe Rabbeinu. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? And he's the richest man alive. He's the most powerful man alive. He's governing the greatest government of all time. Had 40 years of kingdom without one single battle. When he needs a knife, when he needs a sword, it says, Kechuli cherev, go find the cherev. He's standing there with his secret service and all the security. There's no security. Can you imagine a government like that? And he says, I experienced everything. Everything I experienced. And let me tell you how everything is bogus. And he goes one by one, negating every single thing. And at the end, the last pasuk of Kohelet is a pasuk we're very well familiar with. Sof davar hakol nishma, et ha'elohim yera, ve'et mitzvotav shemor, ki ze kol ha'adam. There's nothing else. There is nothing else. Relating it to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, recognizing that's all Hashem. Ve'lachote natan inyan le'esov ve'lichnos. Says Shlomo HaMelech, sometimes HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives to a sinner a drive, a passion to go follow up and make and build and gain and buy and build. Le'esof ve'lichnos, lated latov lefi ha'elokim. Only to give it to someone that is good in the eyes of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's how Hashem governs the world. And Iyov, again, back to Iyov. Iyov says in Perek Chav Zayin there, Pasuk Yud Zayin, Yachin v'tzadik ilbash. Says the Rasha works hard, he prepares, and the tzaddik is going to wear it all. Hashem yatzah davar. Hashem governs the world like that. So you think you're going to be successful? Go for it, work, right? That's a lesson of life, a lesson of life. V'kesef naki ahalok. Ve'efshar sheyah mamon sibat ra'ato. Here is the pasuk that we mentioned before. He brings it here. Even it's possible, chas v'shalom, that the money that he's gathering will be sibat ra'ato ve'ovdan nafsho. It will become a reason for his negativity and demise. Kemo she'amar HaKatuv, Kohelet, Shlomo HaMelech says, Yesh ra'a chola ra'iti tachat hashamesh. I saw a crazy thing under the sun. Osher shamul lebe'alav lera'ato. A wealth that is kept for its owner for his negativity. So again, this is the negative side of things. If you are reliant on your own power, brains, connections, wealth, even things that are liquid IQ that you have, or liquid assets that you have in your hand. You think you have them. Think again. But now he's going to focus on the flip side of it, when a person is reliant on HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when he is in full recognition that the HaKadosh Baruch Hu governs the world, and what happens with that, Hashem will continue in the next year.